Hi guys, here is desigmate. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are testing a very special car, and it's a very interesting car as well. Toyota made this for the WRC rally, and yeah, only 25,000 piece to able to ride this car for WRC. So today I'm driving this car, checking you as always all the details, exterior, interior, all the design topics. And this car has a lot, I can tell you. So it's a very special car, and it's a big surprise that Toyota made this. Most of the other brands, they just using their normal small car like Ford Fiesta, Citroen C3 or and so on. So this car is very special that Toyota decided to make and produce these 25,000 pieces. And in this case we talk about a car which is completely different to the normal Yaris, which is in my opinion a little bit ugly small car, and it's also only available 4-door. This car is only available with 3-door. It is a complete other body, complete other width, height, length, everything. Only the front and rear lights, and yeah, some antenna on the top. Yeah, so what is the topic of this car? It has a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine with 261 horsepower and 360 Newton meter torque. So it's very interesting numbers. I also can a little bit compare to the torque figure to my E46 M3, because it has exactly the same, or yeah, more or less. So yeah, but this car is turbocharged, and that is a high revving 6-cylinder 2.3 liter engine. So it's completely different. This car is just weighs under 1,300 kilos, and that M3 weighs around 1,500. So but back to this car. In the interior it's not too many special GR Gazoo Racing. There's not too many special Gazoo Racing parts. The seats are from Gazoo Racing. The steering wheel is different, but it has a nice size, a nice thickness. So now I'm just getting the car to temperature, riding on a country road, and this is the point where the car really shines, on the country road. Also Toyota decided to limit the speed to 230, but also if you think about it, yeah, that makes sense, because this car is not for the highway. This car is for rally racing on the street. So that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. And the lightweight, you notice it immediately. And I got very easily familiar with this car. I like lightweight cars with a punchy engine, even with a naturally aspirated, not too punchy engine, just catching curves and find the right So I'm very curious how this ride gonna be, and I'm very happy to show you around in this car. So let's get and drive it. So let's talk about the design. I was thinking about how and why they created this car like this, and then one of the day at the evening it just came in. Okay, it's a rally car, a WRC rally car. So these cars used to have a lot of aero elements, a lot of parts on the side, huge wings. So probably the main idea was to take all these crazy elements, kinda keep them and transform or abstract them to a street rally version, as this car looks like. And then at this point I started to like the design. It's not a beautiful car, but it's a special one, and you're going to remain this design also, because one of the last rally car on the street which is still has a combustion engine, and also because there is not many small interesting supercar designs out on the road. So in this case it's also a very special one. Okay, so let's talk about the silhouette of the car, because it's one of the main points why Toyota decided to design this kind of vehicle for the rally. So it has a much lower height than the normal Yaris. It has a much wider body as well, and for me the silhouette is not optically, I say. Of course technically it's very important. It was very important for Toyota. For me as a designer, the silhouette in this case is not which shine the most on this car. For me the volumes and the proportions are which are the best in this car, and I'm going to show you some example. Okay, so let's begin on the front. It has a huge cooling. It has a huge grille which is dominating, but it's all technical, and they try to use it also as a design element. So it makes the front of the car having power, look strong, and they just try to use they also used some vertical elements like the fog lights panel with these aero lips. Also the same vertical idea is this air channel, which is probably brake cooling, and then is of course the main cooling at the middle, and it's also very typical rally approach to have a huge air intake on the front, a huge grill on the front, to get enough cold air inside the engine, because these engines on a very high rev all the time, and they designed it in a very distinctive way. It looks very powerful, it looks strong, and it's also very characterful as well. So actually the front light is the same as on the normal Yaris, but in this car it's really shines. On the normal Yaris I not really like it, but in this car it looks aggressive enough. It has a kind of face, a very angry animal, like a white pig, a strong white pig, which is a funny interpretation, but yeah. Also some small textures on the top of the light panel. It's like an eyebrow. Yeah, we can call it like a eyebrow. You have a LED daylight, which also gives you this this deep look for the car at the front. And yeah, it's a small engine, but you have this very nice plastical element in the middle. So let's move on to the side, because it's, for me, is the most interesting part of the car, or yeah, one of the most interesting part. You have a strong line which is runs out on the end of the front door, and then it's really like a rally car element. This very wide and huge rear body panel, which is it makes the car like it has a shoulder. It looks strong, the back, and it's also like this cut on the back. It just really defines this rally style. The whole back is almost, it's very, there is a lot of forms, but in the end it's like a strong cut through the end of the car. And this is also like a spoiler lip. The whole rear light and this trunk element, it's like a spoiler lip, and you have a real spoiler here, which is kind of just completes the rear end. Yeah, you have two very strong lines, the spoiler lip and the second, which is also looks like a spoiler lip. You have a fake diffuser. I mean, it's not real, and it's everything very lightweight plastic because of the weight of the car, and these plastic elements are also huge. If you see these cutting lines, but as I said, this is not a beautiful design. This is a very characterful design, and yeah, sometimes not the beauty is which makes you to buy this product. It's the character. And Toyota is also not a brand who used to produce, or lately used to produce beautiful cars. They produce very characterful cars, and they also, of course, most of the normal Toyotas are very reliable. Probably this going to be as well. At GR Racing, they took a lot of attention to detail, not just technically, also optically. So you have here a very nice, for me it's there's not very often, okay, there are some brands like Porsche, BMW who can design very nicely original wheel sets for the car, and this is a BBS wheel set. It's a BBS wheel set which is also forged, so it also gives the car a very light steering feel and running feel. Another favorite topic for me, or a design, is this side skirt, which also makes the car look very wide on the side. You can very easily just touch it with your hands. It's very massive, and also the typical aero styling, how this strong line just runs out and gets again smooth and gets edgy and just runs out and make a cutout at the end. So let's talk about the interior. As I told you, the interior is not really special, just some little elements like the special Gazoo Racing steering wheel, which is looks okay. I really like steering wheels with round middle element. For me, there's it's a 3-pillar steering wheel. For me, these elements are a little bit too chunky. It could be a little bit more sophisticated. The seats are actually nice and comfortable, kind of supportive. Probably I would put proper rake arrows. Probably it was the idea also from Toyota. If somebody is serious about this car, they're gonna buy a proper rake arrows and also save some weight and have a much sportier look. I mean, it's sporty enough, but those rake arrows are just would complete the design. But in this case, you have to complete the design with those seats. Yeah, some alloy pedals, nothing special. Some Gazoo Racing elements, and as I told you, the cockpit, actually it's very simple. It's like a foil in the middle, a very small display, and it almost looks a little bit cheap, but otherwise I liked it because there is not many information which are annoying you. So you can see the two most important dials very clearly, the revs and the speed, and that's it. Very simple design, nothing special. There are some little annoying features like this very narrow rear mirror and infotainment. You almost can't see anything if you kind of sit here at the driving seat. It's kind of I can see around, so the visibility is not great, but as I've driven on curvy roads very fastly, and it was not really annoying, so it kind of works. So you probably don't need this rear compartment. I would just take these seats out, put a cage, and make the car again a little bit lighter. There is not a really nice seating here, but if you have some children, you can of course transport them. You have Isofix, so I won't show you how small it is inside. It's not the point of this car. So what's the final verdict of the design? Yes, it's a very special looking car. It's a characterful car, which made me to like the design. It's not a beautiful car, but in most cases, if you think about, small cars are not beautiful. Small cars should have some character to be appealing for somebody, and in this case Toyota nailed it. For me, is one of the most interesting Gazoo Racing cars which they produce lately. But if you look all these cars from Gazoo Racing, like the Supra, like the new GR 86, They all of them have a very strong character, which is a cool thing. Toyota just made a goal to make some interesting sports car which also look interesting. So if you have the money and the way how this car drives, yes, go for it. It's a great one. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel Desigmate. Follow me on Instagram, the Desigmate. I try to upload every 2 weeks or months a new video about things which I like. In this case, cars, bicycles, and all these stuffs. Sometimes some travel stuff, some racing as well. So please follow me. Thanks for your support. See you next time. Bye bye.